Once near a great forest lived a poor woodcutter with his wife and his 2 children. The boy was named Hansel and the girl was named Gretel. He had little to eat, and once when great famine fell on the land, he could no longer even get daily bread. Now when he thought about this at night in his bed and tossed about in his anxiety, he groaned and said to his wife,
"What is to become of us? How are we to feed our poor children when we no longer have anything to even for ourselves?"
"I'll tell you what, husband," answered his wife. "Early tomorrow morning we will take our children out into the forest to where it is the thickest. There we will light a fire for them and give each of them one more piece of bread, and then we will go to our work and leave them alone. They will not find the way home again, and we shall be rid of them."
"No, wife,"
said the woodcutter.
"I will not do that. How can I bear to leave my children alone in the forest? The wild animals will soon come to tear them into pieces."
"Oh, you fool," his wife said in a disgusted tone. Then we must all 4 die of hunger. You may as well plane the plank for our coffins." Then she left him in no peace until he agreed to the plan.
"But I feel very sorry for the poor children all the same,"
said the woodcutter in sorrowful voice. The children had also not been able to sleep of hunger, and had heard what their stepmother had said to their father. Gretel wept bitter tears and said to Hansel, "Now all this is over with us. We'll surely die in the great woods."
"Be quiet, Gretel,"
said Hansel, trying to comfort his sister.
"Do not distress yourself. We will soon find a way to help us."
And when the old folks had fallen asleep, he got up, put on his little coat, opened the door below, and crept outside. The moon was shone brightly, and the white pebbles which lay in front of the house glittered with real silver pennies. Hansel scooped and stuffed the little pocket of his coat with as many as he could get in. Then he went back and said to Gretel,
Be comforted, dear little sister. Rest and sleep in peace. I have a plan."
And he lay down again in his bed to sleep. When day dawned, but before the sun had risen, her stepmother came and awoke them, saying, "Get up, you sluggards. We are going into the forest to fetch wood." She gave each a little piece of bread and said, "Oh, that's my part. There is something for dinner, but do not eat it up before then, for you will get nothing else." Gretel took the bread under her apron, and Hansel had the pebbles in his pocket. Hansel and Gretel sat by the fire when noon came. Each ate a little piece of bread, and as they heard the strokes of the firewood axe, of the wood axe, they believed that their father was near. It was not the axe, however, but a branch which he had fastened to a withered tree, and the wind was blowing backwards and forwards. And as they had been sitting such a long time, their eyes closed and with fatigue, and they fell fast asleep. When at last they woke, it was already dark night. Gretel began to cry and said, "Gretel, how are we to get out of the forest now?" But Hansel comforted her and said,
"Just wait a little, until the moon has risen. Then we will soon find the way."
And when the whole moon had risen, Hansel took his little sister by the hand and followed the pebbles, which shone like newly coined silver pieces, and showed them the way. They walked the whole night long, and by break of day came.
"We shall soon find the way."
But they did not find it. They walked the whole night and all the next day from morning till evening, but they did not get out of the forest, and were very hungry, for they had nothing to eat but 2 or 3 berries, which grew on the ground. And as they were so weary that their legs could carry them no longer, they lay down beneath the tree and fell asleep. It was now 3 mornings since they had left their father's house. They began to walk again, but they always came deeper into the forest, and if help did not come soon, they must die of hunger and weariness. When it was midday, they saw a beautiful snow-white bird sitting on a buff, which sang so delightfully that they stood still and listened to it. And when its song was over, it spread its wings and flew away before them. And they followed it until they reached a little house on the roof, which it alligated. And when they approached the little house, they saw that it was built of bread and covered with cakes, but that the windows were of clear sugar.
We will set to work on that and have a good meal. I will eat a bit of the roof. You can eat some of the window. It will taste sweet.
Hansel reached up above and broke off a little of the roof to try how it tasted. And Gretel leaned against the window and nibbled at the panes. Then a soft voice cried from the parlor,
"Nibble, nibble, ma, who is nibbling at my little house?"
The children answered, Hansel.
What? The wind, Gretel, the heaven-born wind.
And went on eating without disturbing themselves. Hansel, who liked the taste of the roof, tore down a piece of it, and Gretel pushed out the whole of one round window pane, sat down, and enjoyed herself with it. Suddenly the door opened, and a woman was as old as the hills, who supported herself on crutches, came creeping out. Hansel and Gretel were so terribly frightened that they let fall what they had in their hands. The old woman, however, nodded her head and said,
"Oh, you dear children, who brought you here? Do come in and stay with me. No harm shall happen to you."
She took them both by the hand and led them into her little house. Then good food was set before them, milk and pancakes with sugar, apples, and nuts. Afterwards, 2 pretty little beds were covered with clean white linen, and Hansel and Gretel laid down in them, and thought they After a long while, they saw from afar their father's house. Then they began to run, rushed into the parlor, and threw themselves around their father's neck. The man had not known one happy hour since he had left the children in the forest. Their stepmother, however, had died. Gretel emptied her dress until pearls and precious stones ran about the room, and Hansel threw one handful after another out of his pocket to add to them. Then all anxiety was at end, and they lived together in perfect happiness.